This podcast is about facing our fears, or how do we confront our own fears. We need to understand that because we are naturally compelled to use a combination of denial and anger, we are mostly oblivious of what we are really afraid of, including what we likely believe that we are not afraid of. Denial is a very crippling form of self-deception, which we use to create illusions of reality in our own mind. And we end up believing our own lies to ourselves to be what is true. And it is true that the easiest person we can fool is ourselves. And anger can completely neutralize our capacity to feel our fear, and we are mostly oblivious that anger is generally a defensive mechanism. So if we're going to confront our fears, we first need to be honest with ourselves and choose to embark on a quest for what is true and what is nowhere near as easy as it may appear. But we can understand that our fears is what is directly responsible for our weaknesses. And so it will be that if we are afraid of poverty, we might very well be compelled to accumulate wealth, and our weakness is likely to be greed. And if we are afraid of not being good enough, our weakness might be jealousy or envy, and if we are afraid of not being worthy or deserving of love, we might acquire narcissism, or we might choose to not risk getting hurt and choose to live without love, and so on. To embark on a quest for what is true requires us to stand in a position of absolute responsibility for ourselves, including our own pain, no matter whatever anybody else might have contributed to it at all. And that, at the very least, is how we can discover where we are most vulnerable. And to confront our fears requires us to set aside everything we believe to be what is true, and dare look into the unknown, and in the direction as to where we might be wrong, because we can only discover a truth that we need whenever we discover where we are wrong. When on a quest for what is true, confronting our fears by going into the unknown and most directly towards what we fear frightening, and what we need is courage. And we need to understand that it is true that courage is not an inherited quality, and it is instead a quality we can all acquire whenever we face having to do something which is harder than we feel is within our limitations. And whenever we make the choice of reaching down inside ourselves, deeper than we actually think is possible, and it is to do what we know is right, we will always find new strength that we never knew we had, and it will stay with us forever. Confronting our fears promises life to always be challenging and rewarding and interesting and never boring. The failure to make the choice of confronting our fears is what will compel us to stay home, lock our door, draw the blind, and hide in the dark, so to please, and we can even find comfort hiding in the blackest places from an imaginary monster we are sure is out there looking to devour us, and it is a guarantee that life will pass us by. So if you are afraid to do something, allow yourself to feel the fear and do it anyways. That does not mean to be reckless, so make sure you remain within the boundaries that are defined by respect, and that you are well prepared. And don't worry about making mistakes, because from a position of responsibility, our mistakes are also opportunities to discover what we did not know and obviously needed to know, since that is exactly what would have prevented us from making those mistakes, and also what will prevent us from continuing to repeat those same mistakes. It's more like suddenly deciding to get the hell out of Dodge, so to speak, and embark on an adventure to drive across a continent from one ocean to another. You make sure that your car is in good condition and you got what you need to get across, and accept that things can and will go wrong. There is danger having to drive through storms, snow and ice, and dangerous mountain paths, and there might be an accident and you might get hurt. But most of these negative experiences will be exciting and make you feel more alive and also appreciate life even more. And that is how you become increasingly fearless and stronger. And you might have to stop along the way if need be to fix things and maybe find something that you and your skills so that you can earn what you need to keep going. And you can expect those experiences that compelled you to reach beyond yourself that will make you stronger, and they are likely to become your fondest memories. Every corner on the road will reveal something new that you never saw before, and every day will be a new adventure, and every new horizon promise more. And it's not the destination that matters, because that will be the end of your life. So it is the journey itself that counts, and it includes that every obstacle and even painful experiences will all have value, and fear itself is really your only enemy. We should live every day as if it was our last opportunity for our last good fight. And a day might come when you find yourself alone and 100 miles lost in the wilderness, and completely exhausted and unable to take one more step to save your own life. And just then, a monstrous beast could appear in front of you and reveal its intentions to kill you and devour you. And it is just when you have become completely exhausted with nothing left in you to fight. Still, you face having to make a choice, and you could choose to lie down in the snow and allow the beast to take you without a fight and hope for a quick death. Or you could pick up a stick or a rock within your reach to show the beast that it will not take you without a fight. And it is in gratitude to God for your life that you prepare to take on the fight for your life, and that by staring the beast right in the eyes and refuse to show him any fear, and even though you know it is a fight that you cannot possibly win and that you are about to die, and it is sufficient that you know that you will be facing God with your self-respect, honor, and dignity intact, and it is reasonable to expect that your life will be celebrated. So don't lie to people who trust you, and don't trust those who lie to you, because they will try to convince you to take a detour up a dead-end road. So get out there and kick ass if that is what it takes. Apparently, even the ancient Romans had a common phrase they used to say to encourage each other: Carpe diem. Thank you for listening. Please consider subscribing.